Look, I didn't expect the Bulls to win this game, just like I don't expect them to win their next game against the Pistons in Detroit. Although, in the back of my head, I'm always kind of like, you never know with this team because they somehow play exponentially better against teams above 500. And even though we were all frustrated by the loss against the Hornets the other night at the United Center, seeing the Hornets take out the Thunder in a blowout win, shocking really, especially with the kind of start to the season the Thunder had. So then you're kind of thinking like, yeah, okay, maybe it wasn't that bad of a loss, especially when the Bulls are shorthanded, not having Kobe and Giddey in that game, and losing Jalen Smith midway through the game. But what frustrates me, and it relates to this game against Boston, is the lack of consistent effort, the lack of energy and urgency that goes in and out of games for this Bulls team. The Bulls played arguably their worst half of the season in the first half against the Boston Celtics. Maybe not the worst. I mean, that's a strong word because the Celtics are a good team and the Bulls had some pretty bad halves against some of the worst teams in the league, but it was one of their worst. Low effort, disorganized play we've seen in a while. The Bulls were sloppy with the ball. They were standing around, not moving, doing absolutely nothing to try and get inside, just jacking up a bunch of threes with no purpose, no setting up plays, just throwing the ball around and seeing who takes the next three. Like, even if those threes were going down, and the Bulls somehow gave themselves a big lead by hitting all those hoisted threes, I still wouldn't have called that good offense because they weren't good shots. They were disorganized. There was no flow, no rhythm. And of course, it looked even worse that they were basically clanking everything they threw up in that first half. Now, the second half was a different story. The Bulls played a lot harder. They played smarter. The offense was more structured. They were getting better looks. They started driving more inside, although still not enough. More than half of the Bulls' shots came from behind the arc in this game. But they played with more purpose in the second half. The compete level was much better. The problem, though, it was a little too late. Yeah, they made it somewhat interesting in the fourth quarter. Made the Celtics sweat a little when they cut the lead down to 9, I believe it was. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that just makes me more frustrated because it's like, where was that for the whole game? You play like that in the first half and you're right in this game, probably winning it. The consistency with this team has been my biggest pet peeve so far this season. The effort level, the play, the offense, the defense, the engagement on the court. It's up and down. It's an up and down roller coaster. Bulls start off the season 5-0. This team is incredible. They're back. They've figured out a perfect offense in today's NBA where you don't need a go-to number one option. Then they lose 7 straight. Look like the worst team in the NBA, and that's not an exaggeration. They literally look like the worst team in the league during that stretch. Then they play tougher competition again. They win another 5 in a row. We're back, baby. They just needed to get healthy to now back to this. More losing ways and inconsistent play. Now, to be fair, the injuries certainly don't help. It was nice to have Kobe back in this game, even though he was on a minutes restriction. He just did not look like himself, though. It definitely seemed like they might have rushed him back just a little too quick. He hadn't even hit that 1 week mark to be reevaluated, and yeah, just a non-factor in this game tonight for Kobe. 2 for 7, 1 for 5 from 3, 4 turnovers, but even still, Bulls are without their most impactful player on offense in Josh Giddey, and of course, what has worked well for them, that double big lineup. Both Zach Collins and Jalen Smith are out. So yes, I'm being a bit harsh, probably overly critical, because at the end of the day, I didn't expect them to win this game, and not having some of your key rotational guys is obviously going to impact your play. But regardless, it shouldn't impact the players who are available. It shouldn't impact your effort on the floor, and that's what bothers me. Man, Jaylen Brown played one of his worst games all season, and the Celtics still somehow managed to win this game handily. Bulls were given a bone by Brown having a cold night with his shooting, same with Derek White actually. But they let other guys like Anthony Simons and Peyton Pritchard to just go off. Simons put up one of his best shooting games in 2 seasons. I mean, really, you look at the numbers, and this wasn't actually that great of a game for the Celtics. They didn't shoot the ball well at all. 40% from the field, although they did make 23s. They only had 22 assists. They didn't get to the free throw line either, although neither did the Bulls. They only got to the free throw line 10 times. But despite all of that, the Celtics still controlled this game. Why? The possession battle. They got up 18 more shots than the Bulls did. 18. That's the biggest shot attempt discrepancy for the Bulls all season. It's because the Bulls had a bunch of one-and-done possessions of their own, but also second chance points for the Celtics. 20 offensive rebounds for Boston, so the Bulls 6. That is inexcusable. The Bulls could not box out. They weren't fighting for 50-50 balls. I get not having Smith and Collins is going to impact your ability to crash the boards, but come on now. How are you going to give up 20 offensive rebounds? The only silver lining in this game, and I guess you could say it's kind of the goal and objective of the season, is that Manas Bucelis has continued having a very nice stretch of games since Kobe and Giddey went down. All around games where he's impacting the floor in multiple ways. Tonight, a very efficient 26 points on 9 for 12 shooting, 3 for 4 from 3. I like that he went inside more and attacked the rim with his speed and athleticism than anyone else on the Bulls. Was the only guy getting into the teeth of the defense and trying to get to the foul line. Outside of that, can't say there was really much else to be excited about from this game. I mean, I guess it's cool that Vucevic almost had a triple-double, 15 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, but he was also 6 for 14 shooting, missed a lot of shots in the post, and let Keita kind of have his way with him. Ulbrich, yeah, he brought some energy. I mean, he's not very good, probably not really an NBA-level player, but he plays hard, which I appreciate. Julian Phillips had some nice possessions, but yeah, man, can't say this was a game I enjoyed watching because the Bulls just looked lost on offense and could not rebound the ball to save their life. On a night where Jaylen Brown was as bad as he was for a player who's been playing like an MVP, I would have expected the Bulls to try and take advantage of that, but I guess that's the Bulls for you. And then the schedule gets tougher. They've got the Pistons and Heat and traveling back-to-back on Wednesday and Thursday, then the Mavericks, then the Rockets in Houston. Bulls need to wake up and lock in, otherwise you're looking at a team that is going to be falling in the standings and have a hard time recovering. I'm sure that's much to the delight of all the tankers out there, but as I've said before, it's already too late for the Bulls to truly tank. They've already won too many games. It's not happening. They got to make do with what they can and get these young guys the development they need and establish some winning habits. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of the game tonight. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.